Hey everybody, it's TorontoUnicorn. I just went to DTF night again as a single girl. I went with my friend R, and I saw the night unfold, and I feel as though I did see so much and I had such an interesting experience that I wanted to share it on YouTube because DTF is really not meant for everybody. It's an intense night. It's really not representative of what a sex club is all night. And I think if you went to DTF as a first time, it would be a mistake. So here's what I wanted to lay out for you. I went to DTF this week. I have a good time. I'm a voyeur. I like to watch people have sex. And on DTF, which stands for Down to Fuck, it is a night for women who like the accompaniment of multiple men. So women who want to fulfill a fantasy. 5 guys, is whatever it is, they come and they have their fantasy fulfilled that night. It's like wonderful. You can, if you're a single guy, you can show up and potentially be one of the guys that's picked to help fulfill a fantasy. Like, that's pretty cool. So yeah, so that's what the night's for. And so I've gone to many DTFs. I loved DTFs. I also found a lot of sexy gentlemen through DTF and actually had wonderful experiences. I also had many experiences where I did not, and where I found the energy of the night to be too intense, too much testosterone, too much like I was like a walking piece of prey. Like, you know what I mean? Like, that's not why I go to a sex club. Like, I'm a demisexual. I think I rub that in everyone's faces all the time, but it's because I simply don't have sex with strangers. I would never be able to like look at someone across the room and be like, I'm gonna suck your dick. Like, it would just never happen. I just don't see the point of sex like that. I think sex for me just means something. I guess it's like, I just have to have some kind of connection with somebody to enjoy it. So anyways, it doesn't mean I don't have success on DTF. But DTF isn't really for that. DTF is a lot of down to fuck, like ready, dick in hand to fuck, okay? So here we go. I want to tell you the story of DTF. We arrive and we go to the locker room and, we're basically hoping that no one's going to ask us for sex before we get undressed. Like, literally, that's kind of issues we've been having lately at the club, is guys that literally just come right up to us, hoodie on, whatever, and just be like, hey, you want to go upstairs? And like, it's really just like pestering. Like, it really is just like really not cool, not invited. It's a little too fast to like jump on somebody like that, I think. So anyways, yeah, so we basically got there, we took a look around, we went and smoked some weed out on the patio, we went and took our clothes off, and like we basically like made the rounds. When I show up there, we walk up the stairs to like basically go to the locker room, and I walk right into B. Literally had no idea B, my old friends with benefits that I used to play with in group play and single play, was standing right there. And I was like, oh, okay, that's interesting. So I've run into him. He's clearly here to have sex with somebody, so that's interesting. And so we ended up all like kind of, casually chatting for most of the night. I got to meet the date that he was on, which was a couple. They were lovely people. Even R really bonded well with them. So we're hoping to like hang out with them again sometime. But yeah, so we ended up kind of all like kind of making friends for the night, which is really cool considering in vanilla world, usually when a guy that you used to like sleep with is like sleeping with somebody else, like usually it causes that it's just an instinctual feeling of jealousy. But in this situation, I was so happy for him. I was like, wow, like good for him. He's getting out, he's like doing these things. And so I felt good about that. And I even wrote a journal post about that on my website. You can find the link in the description of the video. Basically I write journals, just so you know, on my website. So we get there and already, R's making eyes at some guys. Some guys are like, excited about R, or we're getting people around us in the pool. And at one point I remember R saying to a guy, if you could really just give me a backup. She's like, if I could just have enough room to put my hand like this, that would be just acceptable. Like, she was really polite about it, but that's what I mean about guys being too aggressive on DTF night, and not even just DTF night. But they literally like come and like hover like right here, or like they'll like brush arms with us, and it's like, no, we don't want to brush your arm, that's touching, you need consent for touching. And honestly, I don't even shake hands. Like, I'm really like, I decline sometimes, you know what I'm saying? So yeah, so we had some good experiences. We talked to some people. We did meet a man who had been familiar with my channel, which was always nice. I like when fans introduce themselves to me as fans specifically. And basically he was there on a date, I guess, and he asked me what I thought about poly, and I answered it in pretty harsh terms and from my experience. And it was funny. It was like a bonding moment for us to like start the conversation, you know? So anyways, basically R ends up, we're on the 3rd floor. We're looking around. There's like, first off, there wasn't a lot of people having sex. It was very confusing. Like we were up on the 3rd floor and we'd go into rooms and there would be no one in there. And it was very, because DTF is not like that. DTF is like very busy. And so later on we went up there and then my friend R climbs into the red room. And basically, you know, she's kind of like sweetly but aggressively like darting her eyes looking for her potential suitors. This is what I like to call them, for the night. And she invites a couple gentlemen into the room and basically just starts facilitating the 2-person or I guess a 3-person play. So this is YouTube and I'm not allowed to talk on YouTube about sex very specifically. Like I would naturally enjoy talking about it. So that's why you're gonna have to come to my fan page, unfortunately. But honestly, it works out for me because I could be totally crude there and you'll all love it and I won't get all the hate too. So that's cool. So come to my fan page if you want the after dark version of this story. I am definitely going to be doing that. Yeah, anyway, I digress. So anyways, R is entertaining these 2 men in the red room. I climb in and so many men are like, hey, can I come in? Can I come in? And I was like, no. And I'm like, you can't interrupt a scene. Like, you're not supposed to be like, hey, can I come in? No, you're not supposed to interrupt a scene. So basically I kind of like tucked myself away so that the guys wouldn't like ask me to fuck them. Like I was just like, I'm in here, I'm okay. Like literally so I could watch the sex because I love having a front row seat to sex. It's always hot. So anyways, that was kind of fun, but the vibe, the mojo like wasn't quite momenting. And so we basically just had a break and like went and like, I think we even smoked more weed, got a drink. I think she did another tequila shot, get some liquid courage. And then as the night progressed, she had a lot more success. And so she was having sex with old familiar friends there, and then her and another one of my friends were kind of playing, and that was kind of cool to see. I just gotta respect people's privacy. But yeah, it was really, really wonderful to see as a voyeur my friends have fun and have good sex, because if I'm not gonna get fucked, I mean, it's the next best thing. And to be honest, I could have had sex. I could have. I just didn't want to, because I honestly have no desire to have sex with people who I don't know or I don't feel comfortable with, or things like that. And so I just don't think DTF, unfortunately, is for me anymore. I think maybe I'll have to dial that back. But it was an interesting experience. I had a good time watching, but I have to be around more people who are more socially engaging than less, you know, hand on dick already. You know what I'm saying? That's just kind of my more vibe. So that's what I'm going to be going back to. So when I was up on the 3rd floor at DTF night, I would do a round of like voyeurism. And I'm telling you, there was pile over there, pile of people having sex there. There were so many men around these women in the middle that you couldn't tell that there was a woman in the middle because there were so many men. And so I would have to like get up close and like basically peek through fucking legs to see that there was actually a woman there getting plowed, frankly, from all these guys. So it was quite the spectacle, but it was also really cool to see women fulfilling their fantasies and feeling really empowered and safe to do so. That's one of the reasons I love Oasis, is that you can go there and really feel safe. Like as a girl, like walking around naked, like you're totally fine. So yeah, I think it was quite the spectacle to see. And I when I left and I had realized that maybe it was my last DTF for a while, the thought that just came to my head was like, okay, I came, I went, I saw, I left. Like, what else is there to see? How many times do you have to see a pile of people have sex before it's just another pile of people having sex, you know? So yeah, I feel in a way I'm a bit desensitized to it, but I'll be honest with you, if you're a newcomer and you come to a DTF night, you might never come back. I'm not lying. It's a little intense. So pace yourself. Go on a social night, maybe. Dip your toe in, you know. I think one time I even came on like an extreme kink night or something, or extreme fetish, and that's just not for me. That's not my kink, but like I totally support people's kinks. Kink freedom is what we like to call it. And I remember I had to leave. Like I was there and like I started seeing things I wasn't like super comfortable with, and I had to leave the club. I was like, I'm gonna leave, because sometimes it's just not for you. I gotta fix my squeaky chair. I hope a man comes over and looks under my chair hood. Anyways, that's my DTF story. Thank you for watching. I hope you come to the After Dark version on my fan page because I have more to say that I just can't say on YouTube. The dirty details of what R did with her mouth. Just saying. Come with me.